Um, all right, welcome back for another episode of Virtual Warfare text-based roleplay fighting tutorial series, and this is part two of the rule set that we was looking at, which was the called the feather, black feather. I'm about to say black leather again. Black feather MP. This guy so far so good. I mean, it's only one thing that I disagreed with, which was rule number 4. You guys can go back if you didn't see the first video. You guys can go back and watch that video. It's about an hour and 8 minutes long, which is perfect. You know, it's about an hour long. You guys can go back and watch the video to see some of the points that he made. His rule set so far is an awesome rule set. And I really recommend people following these etiquettes of roleplay fighting, these rules of roleplay fighting, except for some ones, which is number 4. But besides that, I definitely encourage people to look at this rule set. The link will be in the description. I don't think I linked the other one. I think I did, but this link will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's continue on with the video. So, rule number 5, and without further ado, let's go. It says, in contrast to many rule sets that have come before this, teleportation is very well allowed to be employed within this set of rules of engagement. However, that does not mean that your teleportation is nigh infinite. Nigh infinite, never heard that before. Nigh infinite and unbound to specifications needed to properly employ such a powerful ability. Your ability to teleport is directly tied to a specifically chosen and reasonably picked teleport radius, as I call it. A set distance from point A where it provides you the distance to teleport. It may sound confusing to some. So, in layman's terms, it simply means that whatever your teleport radius is, that's the amount of distance your character can jump. Okay, that makes sense. If B is not within your teleport radius, then your character cannot jump to the spot. For any character that engages within this set of regulations, your maximum teleport radius is 100 feet in every direction, nothing more. So, right, this is the first limitation. This is the first limitation of the rule set that is actually a specific amount of anything, a specific amount, a specific measurement. Everything else was just like, it was pretty much like it wasn't specific, but this one is specific, and as far as the radius thing, I get it, but like, people don't utilize time and energy, man. And if people did, if people utilize exertion and time, none of this teleport radius thing would be a rule. This would not be an issue because you would use time and effort to determine distance, determine speed, determine anything. Because one of my teleportation thing is, what I do is I do give a teleportation radius. I say that I can only move 50 feet per second. Because like, if I got to do the whole astral J. You guys seen the video about astral travel or plane walking. So that's what I do. But I give a specific distance where it's like, look, if I could do it, ignore that. I could do it regularly 50 feet, but every second that I meditate or charge up, I could go an additional 10 feet or 25 feet or whatever. So if my opponent allows me to sit there and charge up for 10 minutes, then I'll be able to travel 100 miles because he allowed me to do that because I'm charging up. I'm charging up, and I'm taking the time and energy to make this happen. Whereas I'm not just saying, oh, I teleport 1,000 feet and therefore because I can teleport, or no, I'm not saying that, I'm allowed to teleport this distance because I put the time and energy to do it. Come on, man. Like, that's how roleplay fighting should be. I took the time and energy to make this happen, therefore, it should be permissible. Not just like, oh, I snap my fingers and it happens because roleplay fighting and my character says that it can happen, therefore it happens. Like, that's not roleplay fighting at all. That's roleplay fighting to some people, but it's not virtual fighting. It's not virtual warfare. Not the virtual warfare, my virtual warfare, on a YouTube channel, but virtual warfare, like, it's like virtual warfare has something to do with, like, it's the whole thing. It's role play fighting, but it's not virtual warfare. It's not consistent. It's not fair. It's not understanding. And it's not freedom. It's limited, but it's limitless at the same time. It's a plethora of different types of um, attributes in it. I'm not just saying that, oh, my character can teleport, therefore I can teleport to any distance, or I'm not stricting my character to say, well, the rules say I can only teleport 100 feet, therefore I can only teleport 100 feet, by any means. But no, I'm saying that, look, if you put the time and energy to teleport a mile, then why not? You're putting the time and energy, and your opponent is allowing you to put this time and energy to teleport. Therefore, I don't think there's no problem with that. So I don't I 50% agree with that part. I agree with the part where there needs to be a teleport radius, but I don't think that the cap should be 100 feet. I don't, for any type of rule set. I mean, it's a rule set, but I don't agree with that per se. I say no, you cannot immediately start at a maximum distance of 100 feet. You have to build up your radius to each that max. But look, there we go. Look, that makes perfect sense. Exactly what I was saying. See, like this guy is awesome. This guy's awesome. Exactly what I was saying before I even read that. That's exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying. And so you cannot immediately start at a maximum distance of 100 feet. You have to build up your radius to reach that maximum. Much like how you normalize preparation work. Rapid teleportation will eventually become a taxing on you and your radius. So you may want to choose carefully how exactly you want to use your ability to leap from point A to point B. Well, I mean, I get it. I get that part. It's almost like an ability, like teleport, 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 teleport. I'm not looking at teleporting like that. I'm looking at teleporting like I have to go through a series of steps to teleport. You can't just do those series of steps, in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Because you can, but that's like more. That's more of a PC thing. Because the way I do it, I gotta focus. I gotta break down my body. I gotta travel. I gotta reanimate my body into the particular spot where I wanted to be. This is through plane walking though. I gotta reanimate or rematerialize my body in the place I gotta be. Then that part has to be materialized in that area that that this designated area where I want it to be. So it's 5 steps. It's the focus, the breakdown, the travel, the rematerialization, and then pretty much the ending part, which is I'm there now. So it's like 4 to 5 steps that need to take place, and those steps can't really be done, back to back, back to back like that in MP. It's just too much to do in MP. So maybe in PC, when the blink of an eye, all those steps can be acquired or completed. But like MP, it's impossible. You can't do that. And this is the ability where you can only do it once or twice. But yeah, I like where this guy is going with the thing where you have to charge up and you have to take time. You had to prep to go 100 feet. I like that idea. But as far as having rapid teleportation, hey, it's a rule set. It's his rule set. If that's what he wants to allow, so be it. Hey, he can allow it. Oh my goodness, who's calling me? What? I can't see who's calling me. No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Sorry about that. Um. Okay, so no, you can't. Okay, we were right. It said you cannot teleport anything but yourself and things within your grasp, energy included, beyond your teleport radius. Yes, you can indeed transport other character skills under 2 conditions. Wait. you can yes, you can indeed teleport other character skills under two conditions. One, your character has the written ability to teleport other objects stated within your sheet. Two, your character has established some form of contact between him or her and whatever it is that you are transporting. The more you need to teleport, the more taxing will become if it did not come regularly with your character. So this includes boulders, cars. Who the hell? Who the hell gonna transport boulders and car? Who would transport a car? I get it. Like you talk about like the weight and the the volume of it, but like come on. Other character projectiles and other characters if you have established physical contact with them or it unless you're okay. Okay, whatever. Regeneration. I guess I'm sick of generation. So you know what? Let me see. Power character scaling. I think it's like 9 rules. Cause I'm getting pretty sleepy. I think it's 8. This is what's the rule number? 9, 8, 7, 6. This is taking a toll on me. Excuse me. If I go to, I could do 1 more hour. Cause I know talking a lot, I can start to stumble over my words. Again, my brain start to get mushy, all that stuff like that. And anyway, rule number 6: regeneration. Healing factors, or whatever you call them, are very well allowed to be employed within this rule set. As I myself love using the power. I mean, he gets beat up a lot. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, with regeneration, it will fall under how much power you have within your arsenal built up prior to the moment you recover. I'm going to read that one more time. With regeneration, it will fall under how much power you have within your arsenal built up prior to the moment you recover. As there are many different forms of regeneration, I will cover it with a basic identification, which is simply directed as the bodily repair and possibly energy repair. With your regeneration, it cannot be instantaneous whatsoever. So instances of regrowing a limb where mere moments after it is cut off will not be allowed. Which is okay. This is pretty much a universal thing. Even the most simplest rule sets like Holy Order don't allow limbs to be grown back. And everything. Even they say that perfect regeneration cannot happen. So I guess it's saying like if you get cut, if you regenerate yourself, you gotta have a scar. A scar would be missing, or it would be like it would still be tender, because like it was a scar, So even such a simple rule set even does not follow this thing. But yes, I agree with that. You cannot grow limbs like Piccolo out of nowhere. Even Piccolo got to scream, they extend his limb out. You know what I'm saying, so it's not you got to do something spectacular or strenuous to regrow your limbs. But I don't agree with growing limbs. I don't think that should be permissible. Unless you're some type of alien or whatever, but if you're a human being, like it's a complex. I mean, it's allowed, but it's like I don't do it. I don't do it. Other people don't do it. It's not really agreed upon. Nobody really cares. It's like people end up arguing anyway, or getting their head chopped off, or blown to smithereens. Like nobody gets this. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm saying it's a whole argument. If someone's finger get cut off, it's a whole argument about how that happened, and then the fight is over. So nobody gets to regenerate at all. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could be like permissible, or whatever. I don't care about that. It says type 2 and type 3 regenerations is allowed, but type 3 regenerations will be flexible. External wounds, including fractured bones and deeper burns, may heal at an accelerated rate. However, the severity of these problems are still a factor. Scar fractures are quite dangerous in the sense that, no, you cannot regenerate brain damage or your head being destroyed. Most OCs can live without the use of their lungs. However, damages to your organs can be fatal depending on severity. Heart damage will normally always result within character death, just the same as collapsing lungs or other damages to important organs. Attacks that damage your outside vital areas can be healed without much issue depending on severity. So no, you cannot regenerate an entire leg unless you are forfeiting both time and maneuverability in order to regain that leg, as well as the amount of energy you are using to do this. And I do not just mean metaphysical energy. Humans use energy to recover the defects to their body as if it isn't severe to the extent of fatality. Now, you may reattach a limb if it has not been destroyed or damaged beyond repair. Critical wounds such as lost limbs, damaged nerves, and internal organs cannot be regenerated, as wounds would simply close up faster and lost organs remain lost. Wolverine and Deadpool level regeneration is a hard no. Spider-Man level, yes. And yes, Spider-Man can indeed regenerate quite well. In fact, I didn't know that. I didn't know like Spider-Man had like a regeneration property. I know Wolverine had it, I'm not too sure about Deadpool, but like Deadpool is like, I don't really check into Deadpool like that, but like I know Wolverine has that's universally known. But Spider-Man, I didn't know that. I didn't know Spider-Man had a regeneration factor. I didn't know that at all. But that's cool. That's cool. You learn something every day, huh? Anyway, again, so I pretty much agree with everything. I don't run into like regeneration. I think regeneration is really used by new players who just wants to have a healing factor because like one is cool, two is safe, and they just heal themselves like God modish in a way where they cut their alarms off and they just grow one back. Like why not? But also, I guess from players who have an I don't know why I can't say that word today. Exceptional amount of writing skills with little experience, but they have a lot of writing skills and way to detail things. Well, mind you, they're new, but they have a lot of writing skills and a lot of creativity. So they just use regenerations because why not? But like, I haven't seen any seasoned fighter or you know a fighter with experience ever try to heal themselves or regenerate because it's like they're too busy trying not to get hit or hit the other person that regeneration don't even come. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I guess I don't really have nothing to say about that. I would agree on everything that's being said. Because like regeneration, like people really don't, it's kind of like obsolete now. Maybe for me, I haven't seen anybody do it again. But I speak because I really don't see people do it, and I don't do it, and people don't really care about it. I really don't have nothing to say about it. But nothing too major stuck out to me where it's like, oh, that's a hard no. But pretty much everything you're saying, like, it's pretty much on point. Like certain things, you can't have Wolverine type healing, and you can't like just instantly heal limbs together. I mean, if your arm falls off, you can reattach it with some type of biological, magic or whatever you want to call it. If your heart explode, heart damage, whatever, you can't really heal from that. Brain damage, the same. Organs, the same. So it's pretty much stuff like that. It's like it's being more realistic in it, but at the same time, it's giving it a reasonable opportunity to step into fantasy and heal those things that can't normally be healed in real life. So which is, I can't disagree with those things. Rule number 7: powered characters. Scaling is one of the most important aspects of roleplay fighting, and here it will be broken down in a mannerism that capitalizes on what has been mentioned before about scaling appropriately. Yes, scaling means to adjust your character's abilities to fit the requirements that call for those skills. This can include things like battling a stronger opponent, withstanding the pressure of a possibly unique environment, or more. Scaling a character's powers and skills are employed whether by the body alone or by energy enhancement, amongst other reactionary based abilities and such that nature. One thing to note about scaling is that it should not be an unreasonable scaling outcome, meaning that you should not try to place your character's leagues above another's on purpose, as accidents tend Accidents do tend to happen when a combatant is attempting to scale their potencies in accordance to their amount of energy or condition. It should be noted that scales should always have a reasonable flow and not reach OP borderline. Um, talk about scaling. Like I don't know anyone who. I mean, you know what? That was actually like uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like one of the rudiments of old roleplay fighting. One of the rules, like it plainly said, you cannot say you're 2 times stronger than your opponent. Like that was like literally like one of the rules. You cannot say you're 2 times stronger than your opponent. You can't say that you're stronger than your opponent by any means. You just gotta fight. You just gotta have a character. You know, everybody's on an equal playing field. It all depends on how well you can use your character. Because everything was D&D based. Like everything like was D&D based. You know, pretty much D&D based characters pretty much on the same level. Yeah, you know, you might have some orcs who was like really strong but slow, or have some archers who was like really fast but weak. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those, you know, it was always a balance. But like there was no like, oh, like this, there was no like mass difference where it's like this person is just stronger, overall stronger than their opponent because I want to be stronger than my opponent. It was never like that. It never is like that still. I don't know. Like I said before, like when people, you know, when a guy Paul wrote, this is in another video, when a guy Paul wrote the books to different churches, he wasn't just saying things. He was saying it because he was correcting them, or he was like readdressing errors that they deviated from. So I guess this guy has experienced people doing exactly the opposite of what he's saying. You know, so this is why he's addressing these things, because people have been deviating from actually scaling characters in a way where it's equal and fair, and just saying that I'm stronger than you because I want to be stronger than you. Therefore, you can't hurt me because my character is strong. Like you can't. That's not roleplay fighting. It's not virtual warfare. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's playing a role of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's not roleplay fighting. You know, and so I totally agree with the scaling thing on that. It said, as the word overpower is subjective to the beholder, and I mentioned that before, that OP is subjective. You know, because what I think it's one of my, this is one of my role play secret error videos. I think it was about word length, but like I had a debate about with this with someone a long time ago. Because overpowered to you may not be overpowered to them. So it's like it's a subjective term. You know, overpowered is subjective because there is no true there's no purely consistent basis on what is overpowered. There's none of that. It's always someone's subjective is always. I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry. Someone's opinion is always subjective, not someone's always some. You get what I'm trying to say. Someone's opinion is always subjective, so no one can actually say that this is overpowered because, you know, X, Y, and Z, unless you're basing it off the rule set that has strict limitations on what makes something overpowered. Besides that, you can't say what's overpowered, you know, in the totality of roleplay fighting. Anyway, moving on. There is still that gray area of noticement that allows one to point out cases of overpowered play. A phenomena where someone plays a card that is unreasonable to the scenario within a battle. Unless specific specifications within character abilities and or battle happenings are brought about, this steady flow should always remain constant so as to maintain a level of fairness with those who carefully cultivate their powers to overcome another without the opposite party attempting to pull what I call protagonist boost, which is simply a boost in power that completely disregards the power of what they are facing so that character exceeds or matches them unrealistically. However, as stated before, there are specifics within a character or battle that allows someone to gather much more power, strength, and equivalence to their opponent, or in some cases exceeding them. These cases are also subjective and it is up to the two or more combatants to determine that if a selected judge is not present to justify it. Okay. His wording, his punctuation is it's not the best, but mine's not the best either. But it's causing me to read in a different tone because I'm expecting that the way the subjects are written down. I'm expected to continue, but it's a period there which throws me off. Like for example, right here, uh, where I'm at, like right here. Oops. Right here, it should be a comma here, not a period, because it says it's long. I mean, it's a phenomenon where someone plays a card that is reasonable to the scenario within battle. See, unless specifications with characters' abilities and or battle habits are brought about, this steady flow should always remain constant so as to maintain a level of fairness with those who carefully cultivate their powers to overcome another without a opposite party attempting to pull what I call protagonist boost. And he goes on to explain what that is. Which he used the word which should be a comma there because it's pretty much a conjunction saying this goes with this, but if this goes with that, this should be in the same sentence because unless you start off and says what I call a protagonist boost. A protagonist boost is what I is a blah 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 blah. But if you say protagonist boost and then you use the word which, it should be a comma, not a period. So that's just how English is. But I mean, so far, I mean, it's just one of the smoothest. It was smoother than the other rule set, I tell you that much. So this is it's smooth. It rolls off the tongue. He's writing like someone would actually talk. So I definitely do like it. Anyway, however, where am I? Okay, however, as stated before, there are specifics within a character or battle that allows someone to gather much more power, strength, and equivalence to their opponent, or in some cases exceeding them. These cases are also subjective, and it is up to the two or more combatants to determine. Okay, I read that part already. It says, as far as power scaling goes, courtesy to overseers rule set. This rule set is centered solely around low MP power scaling, with the argument that it borders the mid MP line. Okay, so I guess he was talking about power scaling, courtesy to, because overseer rule says he goes low MP, high MP, mid MP, and gives each level of what that is. High MP equals buildings being blown up or whatever. I don't know exactly what to say, but it pretty much gives example of what that actually means, rather than just arbitrarily saying high MP, low MP, medium MP, and just whatever interpretation you get that from is you can apply. He actually gives what that means. So rule number 8. We almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on with me. Hold on. We're almost there. Okay. Rule number 8. This rule is not so much as a rule, but a list of prohibited powers and actions. These prohibited powers are no god mod, no metagaming, reality bending, character control without valuable and reasonable explanation on how you did it, invulnerability, light speed, auto hit, bunny in, omni anything, infinite amount of anything. So pretty much I could just skip that. So these prohibited powers, as well as others, fall under the category that makes a battle unfair due to the sheer control that they entail. Manipulations that tamper with space-time, gravity, and or laws of precise mannerism or otherwise will have your character disqualified. Reality marbles are not allowed. However, constructed environments that occupy a certain amount of space and gives you certain buffs or skills are allowed. Pretty much that wasn't the rule, but we got through that fast. And the last one is preparation. Okay, preparation in in its simplicity, is the building blocks used to accumulate a higher amount of your specified energy or buildup of the potential potency of attacks and skill within your skill tree. Preparation within this rule set is quite simple because it is centered around the idea of preparation by post. No. This cannot. No. Everything is going well until you mentioned that. Like, this pretty much saying that each post equals one preparation point. Like, I can't do rule sets like that because I can't do rule sets like that because it's so weird. It's like you want everything to be based off of in-game measurements, but you're using a measurement that's outside of the game to measure something in the game. Like, it's like and you can't do that. It's like idle games. Well, not idle game. I'm trying to make I don't make an absurd explanation, but I'm trying to make an explanation where it's like something in the game, like you tap. Like, you can't do that. It's just like, for example, one turn is identified as one term of prep. As many people who do not abide by specific systems and whatnot, generally this can be an issue because the amount of prep accumulated within one term is not so much specified as a hard number. I I think we all can agree on that. However, this rule set focuses around the role players who generally have established a level mindset and can accumulate one term of prep and distribute that prep equally into attacks or otherwise without it being called out as something fishy. For this rule set, I have thought of separating attacks and actions For this rule set, I have thought of separating attacks into attack identification or attack potency categories. These categories range from low, high, and special. I think I did something like that, where as far as like special attacks. If you guys look at one of the it's a character build. It's a character OC that I did. I guess I would leave the thing that goes across, the little bar thing. I forgot what it's called. I'll leave that so you guys check it out if you want. About it was special attacks, burst attacks, or something else. But that's neither here or there. As far as what's being said right now, I guess I just don't agree with this thing right here. But I don't agree. One term of prep. I get it. Like, you can't prep everything in one term. You know what I'm saying? I get that, cause like prepping should be relative to the energy that's being put out. Like, you can't say I prep this, I prep this, I prep this, I prep this, prep this in my turn. You can't prep everything. And the crazy thing is, because of this rule right here, I think it was in the first video, but if you guys haven't seen it, let me gotta go through the rules. It says one per turn, right? One prep per turn. But it was another rule that he said that it was on interruptions, right? And he said that you had to let your opponent. There is no interruption during your opponent's speech. It was somewhere. Here we go, right here. As long as your opponent's actions take place in a time frame not outly stretched. So pretty much saying I have to let my opponent prep. I can't interrupt them prepping because of this rule right here. As long as your opponent's total actions take place in a time frame that is not obviously stretched beyond the normal capacity of a fight post, you may not interrupt them in your own post in a way that would cause them to not happen. I mean, I get that part, but again, if I was saying that doesn't make sense. Using this part right here, using this for preparations, doesn't make sense. Just none of this. Those two are the they would conflict each other, and they don't. There's no, like I was saying, like the guy he used Crow. Should I say? Sorry, cutting the guy. Crow used for his first time he used an actual measurement, and it was based off teleportation, I believe. And teleportation, he said that it was 100 feet. You could only use 100 feet, but even though you had to charge up, here go right here. Even though you had to charge up, you could only travel 100 feet maximum, and that was the only measurement that was mentioned in this rule set. That actual specific number, you know, uh, in his rule set, but he doesn't give like an actual specific uh time frame or actions that are allowed before one can interrupt it. He just says that as long as it's not stretched beyond normal capacity. But it's like even that is subjective. Like, what does it even mean? Like, give me an example. What that mean? Like, tell me an example. Like, you should at least create some type of relativity on what that means. So therefore, we can actually have a relative view. Oh, you know what? He said this and that. This kind of similar to this. Therefore, I can't do all this. I can do this, but I can't do all that. But if you don't give a relative, you know, picture of what that looked like, then it's like everything. I'm just assuming. I don't know. I don't know what that is. So it would be subjective all across the board. Because no one have anything to correspond it with or correlate it with. It's just it's an ambiguous, you know, rule or context of that rule. So I just encourage dude. I'm gonna talk to this guy anyway. I'm gonna talk to him and say, yo, you need examples here, here, here. I'm giving these videos. Hopefully he'll read them. Look at them. If not, then it doesn't matter. I'm still trying to reach out to him anyway to get these things situated. See how we can better this rule set. So sit up a little bit. Anyway, while most of these are self-explanatory, as low potency attacks are simplistic attacks without much potency or power behind it, medium being attacks that have more power but not by a large margin, high being something even greater, and special are certain attacks that utilize different methods that aren't necessarily force and brunt attacks by something like mental domination, willpower, and such of the nature. Preparation for special attacks will still abide by the for special attacks will still abide by that one turn of preparation system. So I guess he's saying that you got to spend one turn to prep. You can't prep and attack in that turn. You got to prep in your turn. You know what I'm saying? You can't prep and attack. And it's like even that is like prepping is subjective to according to what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I can say tie my shoes prepping. I'm tying my shoes to prepare to run. That's a prep. I gotta take a turn to do that. Or I draw my sword and hold it against my face to prepare to block or whatever. And I'm not use one turn for that. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like an extraneous, amount of energy that I'm about to, project, of course you should take one turn. But again, there should be examples of what that looked like. If not, it's all going to be subjective. It's all going to have an ambiguous, imagery to it. Because like no one knows what that looks like because it's subjective. At least build some type of, something to show where it's like, all right, look, you can go. What's I'm looking for? Example, like give some type of example so people can actually go off of, some type of that's another word I'm looking for, but I forgot it. Like it's an example that people could go by, so people can actually see the correspondent with. Anyway, furthermore, a competent role player should, in most cases, be able to identify their level of attacks and accumulate the necessary amount of preparation in order to commence those attacks. Higher level attacks will cost more preparation. How much preparation? That depends on how much damage you are attempting to deliver. The effect, area effect, and the duration of these effects. Not good enough. You got to give an example. You have to give an example. You have to give an example. Me trying to tell you that you must. Me trying to tell you that you must have a hard number of preparation or justify how much prep you need for an attacks or high or special scaler will call for me to break down and explain each and every attack a person may or may not do. That's not true. Not true at all. Not true at all. You can actually give you can actually create specifics uh instances where things might occur if someone used these types of attacks. So for example, say somebody do a low attack. You would say for low attack, just to make it easy, so easy. You say so for low attacks, you can damage a car. For high attacks, you can damage a house. For heavy attacks, you can damage a tank. For special attacks, you could damage like diamonds or whatever the case may be. But you will also get with the speed. You would do that with so you don't have to break down everybody's specific attacks, but you can make a list of possible outcomes that will occur by using these attacks on these levels. That way you could do it that way. So that way people have an idea of what these levels can do and what these levels, or what to expect these levels can do, because people can actually see, oh, I want to be a high level person because, I want to be able to break a house. Or I want to be, just like the other rules that we looked at, even though it was all about powers, that was a good way to break down what was possible. He didn't give everybody specific, abilities, but he gave out the outcome of if people if people projected this type of power, what would happen to a car, what would happen to a house, what would happen to a tank, yada yada, etc. So you can list out these things, but you don't have to do it by um listing everybody's possible attacks, but you could list out possible outcomes towards certain objects. You could use a tank, for example, but the tank, create a scratch. Medium, create a dent. High, create a hole. Special, rip it to parts or whatever the case may be, shatter it to pieces or whatever. You could do it like that. You don't have to give specific attack. So prep your attacks. Right here. So prep your attacks and abilities, people. We all know that the more you do, the more you need. So let's remain reasonable and fair, as your opponent can call you out on an attack that does not match the rotation and amount of prep that may have seen you build up. We're almost done. Okay, this is the last thing. This essentially does and does not apply to moments of enhancement via your energy. Enhancements, in my opinion, is not solely governed by the amount of energy you have available, but the potency of the energy within your pool or what you have built up at the point in time. Similar to how in certain anime, it isn't solely the amount of energy they have that governs strength, but the actual strength of that energy within their body. For example, Naruto's chakra is vast within its amount, but the strength of that chakra wasn't as much as, for example, Hiroshima's. Wait, that's not Hiroshima. I'm tripping. Wait, hold on. Wait. That's here. It's high. I don't watch Naruto, so give me a second. Give me a second. Hashirama. Hashirama. I don't know. Hashirama. Okay. Or the light. Sure. In most cases, the amount of energy can make a huge difference within a fight, just as the strength of that energy can make a difference in a fight. However, it will all come down to what is being done. I mean, it's being down and how. Wait, okay, I think it's being done. It all comes down to what is being down, what is being done and how. Normally, this is for those who don't do this. Role players will build up the amount of energy that they can conjure from while also building up the strength of their power. Others, they build up the amount of energy. Give me a second real quick. Read that one more time. Normally, this is for those who don't do this. Role players will build up the amount of energy that they can conjure from while also building up the strength of their power. Others, they build up the amount of energy so that they can flood that energy in higher quantities into specific spells or attacks that cause it to leave their body versus enhancement that does not. Okay, well, yeah, okay, I get it. Okay, there are some cases where your enhancement does take power away from you, such as brief moments of power accumulation boosts. Transformations largely focus on energy within a single limb. Okay, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, so far, I mean, that's what he's saying is like some people charge up to like give out devastating attacks. Some people charge up to give out, unique attacks that's like, small but like great. Some people charge up to enhance their power to, just be able to punch faster, punch harder and stuff like that. Which is, I mean, it's true. I mean, let's say about that. What pictures you got? No pictures. How many comments? One comment, likes. They just. Oh, stuff behind. Okay, look. Had to edit some things. So this has been reposted. Feel free to provide feedback if necessary. Rude and spiteful comments will be ignored or even amended. Why? No! That's the best thing, yo. Like, do you know, I mean, like, there's this difference between having just nasty things to say, like you said, spiteful. But, like, if it's spiteful, I know what I learned? This is what someone said to me, because I did a whole, this was someone said to me, right? There was, like, even though there's constructive criticism and there's criticism that just people just want to put you down. But guess what? Take both. Take both of them. If someone trying to use that to take you down, think about what they're saying. You know what? Maybe this is true. I'm going to listen to what they're saying because maybe it's true. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that everything they say is true. But, for example, it's two ways to say your breath stink. Some people can say, "Damn, man, like your breath stink, dog. You need some gum." Like you can say that, or someone can say, "Yo, bro, like I'm saying, like when I talk to you, like I'm saying, like sometimes like your breath, it smells a little bit. Like we could get some gum. Maybe I don't want other people to talk bad about you. Like both things, people they're saying that your breath stinks. One is saying it in an ignorant way. The other one's saying it in an understanding and caring way. Both ways are true. So it's not what's being said all the time. It's not always how it's being said. It's what's being said. And just because it's said in a nasty way, we still should take it with a grain of salt because it might be true. So there's always the opportunity to defend yourself. To defend what you believe in. To defend. Sorry about that. It's always good to just like have that just to let the person talk, let the person hear their side of the story, and just defend yourself, and just share what you think about it rather than just omitting it because you don't want to live in an echo chamber. I mean, you don't want to live in an echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing you don't want to do. Because you won't grow, you won't learn nothing, you won't gain any type of experience. I'm not saying that you, Crow, are doing this, but you don't want to live in an echo chamber. Warnings. These guidelines are not meant to be perfect or godly. The wording comes from another unique mindset, and if people cannot understand that, then please do not bother commenting. The dirty rule set. Wait, is this a new rule set? What's this? It's two rule set. Is this two rules? Is there one? What the heck? Oh, no, no, this is. Oh, this is another rule set. Oh, I'm tripping. Yo, I'm tripping. Okay, that's for another time. I might actually do this one next. This is for another moment. Yeah, so it ends right here. I didn't know you can like scroll through. I didn't know that you could just keep scrolling. I didn't know that. I'm like the dirty mindset. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, oh, I get it. So, sorry, Chris, that's not towards you. But anyway, you should consider those words of wisdom. And that's pretty much the end of the video. That's been an hour. It's been talk about this words for 2 hours. I like to do it. It's tiring, but I like to do it. Just getting me prepared to talk for extensive amount of time. Who knows? Like, life might have me to talk forever, for more than 2 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good practice of talking and just, my brain start to get mushy to like try to like, you know, bring put things back together and stay on topic. It's just like learn how to like stay focused when my brain is really mushy. But yeah, man, I guess thanks guys for watching. I like doing these reviews. It's fun. I like talking about roleplay fighting. I like people listening, not to me, but listen to what I have to say. It keeps me encouraged. It keeps me it feels like it's bringing people together. Especially these reviews. I'm gonna go out and reach out to the guy Crow, and see what he has to say. It's just bringing people together. In the name of roleplay fighting, rather than just fighting each other, just having aimless talks about, just anything about roleplay fighting. But now we can actually have, a goal. Help each other out. Learn together. Be on the same page. Like see what's out there in the world that people are going against and just come together and agree on certain things, so that's pretty much what these Rusets are about. What I'm saying? Just giving my view, reaching out to people who, you know, think differently, seeing their responses. It's just conversating about roleplay fighting. I'm saying? So yeah, thanks for watching. The next video that comes out is going to be um about the metagame, and I mentioned that in the first video, metagaming, character control, all this good stuff. So that I might actually bring that out. I'm gonna do the video tomorrow, but it's not gonna come out to. It might come out tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is part 2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see everybody in the future. Deuces. Say deuces.